In this video, we've compiled the biggest jackpots on Pawn Stars ever. Without further ado, let's get started.
The Book of Mormon. It's definitely the book. It's even harder to get this than tickets to the play.
A customer named Adam walks into the pawn store with an ancient book in his hand that he calls the Book of Mormon.
Is it an older version of it?
This one wasn't printed in many copies, maybe 600-something copies.
Adam tells Rick about the history of the book and also defines some of its key features and asks for $25,000 for the book.
By far the most valuable book you've ever had me appraise. These early editions of the Book of Mormon will still hold a lot of collectible value. I would appraise this book actually at about $40,000.
Rick calls in his book expert Rebecca to check the book out. She then tells Rick that the book does have some valuable worth and estimates a price of $40,000 for it.
I really think it's a $40,000 book. You'll sell it. There's a lot of demand for it.
Do $24,000.
This time I'll give it to you, so we'll do it that way.
It's a deal.
Rebecca takes her leave and Rick starts negotiating with Adam on the price of the book. Adam then sells the book for $24,000 to Rick, which was estimated around $40,000 in the first place. Rick gets the jackpot.
This is a 1941 Gibson SJ200. It was owned by Stephen Stills of the band Crosby, Stills & Nash.
That is cool.
This young man named Landon is here today at the pawn shop to sell his guitar owned by a famous American musician, Stephen Stills.
I bought the guitar in an auction a few months ago. I'm looking to sell it today because that's kind of my hobby. I buy and sell guitars.
Landon says that he's a guitar collector himself and that he got this one in an auction and now he's looking to sell it to make some profit.
Everyone who was around in the 60s knows Stephen Stills. What It's Worth, that was the name of the song. I mean, literally, it was considered the rebellion hippie anthem of the 1960s. If you heard the song, you would remember it. Literally an icon. If he's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I'd be shocked.
Rick shares some of his opinions on Stephen Stills and considers the thing under his use as one of the best and valuable items, and so does Landon.
You have, like, documentation this was Stephen Stills?
I do have the bill of sale, so when he sold it to the collector, like he had a music studio sell it for him on consignment.
Rick asks the seller for the documentation if he has any, and Landon pulls out the sales bill when the musician had sold it to a collector. Rick looks at the bill and reads it properly.
It looks like someone did refinish this at one point. It doesn't look like the original lacquer on all of it.
I don't believe it's been refinished. I think it's got a light overspray on it.
It just looks like there's been some work done to it.
Rick believes that he has to be very careful with this item. He asks Landon if the guitar has been refinished, but Landon believes that the item has not been refinished but got a light spray on it.
Okay, this is a beautiful pre-war Gibson, which makes it worth money. I would absolutely love to get my hands on this guitar, but it almost seems too good to be true.
Rick is excited to have this piece in his collection, but he's worried about the authenticity of it at the same time.
I'm looking to get $110,000 for it.
Sounds like a lot.
Rick asks Landon how much he's looking for the guitar, to which he replies with $110,000.
They introduced this model in 1938, went to war, and they stopped making them. I mean, this is it. This is the Holy Grail.
To make things more clear, Rick calls the guitar expert Jesse to have a look. Jesse tells Rick right away that the guitar is a valuable asset and can be expensive.
You can see it's had a couple of crack repairs and stuff, so it's kind of par for the course with a guitar this old. They didn't gob a ton of finish on it. It's actually still pretty thin, which is what helps the character of these guitars sound so good.
Jesse continues to keep on checking the guitar and thinks that the guitar is actually really cool. Rick also speaks about the documentation of the guitar, which adds more value to it.
The guitar on its own is probably worth anywhere between 75 and 90 grand just by itself without the Stephen Stills thing. Stephen Stills could add another 20, 30,000.
Rick asks Jesse about the price of the guitar. Jesse calls it expensive right away and thinks it could be worth around $120,000 to $130,000.
I mean, what's your best price on it?
Give me 110, we'll make it a deal.
110's not gonna happen.
After Jesse leaves, Rick asks Landon about the price again. He's still on $110,000.
I'll give you 80 grand.
I can do 90. That's my line, man.
I'll give you 85. I cannot go anymore. I can't.
I've got to have 90.
Okay. Change your mind, call me.
85, man.
All right.
After some hard negotiations, Rick is successful in making the deal and closes it at $85,000.
I have an original Lincoln Parler card.
The ones that he signed.
He did the image for the $5 bill and the cent, and this is the basis of the Lincoln pin.
This seller has brought a Parler card signed by the 16th President of the United States and wants Rick to have a glance at it.
I didn't know one existed in private hands.
This is the only one left, so I think a fair price is $100,000.
That's a lot of sense.
Since this is the only item left which was signed by a great person, Rick is more than happy to have it. He then asks the customer for the price. The customer wants to sell it to him for $100,000.
Let me get someone in here who'll have a better idea what its value. I'm just in shock.
Rick then calls an expert just to be sure if the item was real.
Brought in some examples of authentic Lincoln signatures here. Angle of the O, 45 degrees upwards. Lower point and top point make that 45-degree angle. It is genuinely signed by our 16th president himself.
What's it worth?
You probably put a price of $150,000.
Stewart confirms the authenticity of the object and estimates a price of $150,000 as its worth, which was way more than the seller's.
You could make money even if you gave me 120.
I'll give you $100,000. I won't go a penny more. That's what I'll go. $100,000 and that's it.
We had a deal.
Rick then asks the customer for his price again. He now wants $120,000 for it. But Rick remains firm on the price he talked about initially and closes the deal at $100,000. Great, isn't it? If you're finding the video interesting, then show us some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Now, back to the video.
It looks like 1700s, early 1800s flintlock that someone thought it would be a good idea to vomit on.
This customer walks into the pawn shop with his 1700s flintlock pistol, hoping for Rick to buy. Rick is amazed by the restoration of the object.
Someone got really stupid with it. They spray painted, or maybe hand painted the barrel. Not only that, they did a really bad job. The only thing you got going for it, I could tell by the wood that it's old. Your lock is broken, which means I pull the trigger, this doesn't fly forward. Let me call my buddy in, who deals in guns.
The customer asked $500 for the pistol, but Rick had some concerns regarding the object and called in the expert to have a look.
It's definitely hand painted. You can see all of it on the wood here. The stuff that's gold should be brass, and I can just see that little bit of brass peeping through, so that's good. The stuff that's silver should be steel. I think probably the mainspring, that's what would give this tension, is either gone or broken.
The bad hand job on the pistol left it inoperable, and that's what the expert thinks too.
So how much would you charge me to restore it?
I think it would be about $1,000. Once we restore it, if I can get it functional, I think it's at least $3,000.
After carefully examining the object, the expert tells Rick that it would cost him $1,000 to restore it. He then makes his offer to the customer.
I will give you $150 and relieve you of your problem.
Would you do $250?
I'll give you $200.
Yeah, I'll do the 200.
Rick then offers the customer $200 for the pistol, which he accepts after giving it a thought.
It's all done. It's pretty looking.
Isn't it nice?
It actually came out better than I thought it would come out.
After making the deal, Rick hands the gun over to Alex for the restoration process.
If this fires correctly, I think you get at least $5,000 for it. Just finding one of these guns in any condition is incredibly hard to do. Finding one that we can actually fire is basically 1 in a million.
Rick then gets surprising news about the object after it's been restored successfully. After getting the item successfully in working condition, Rick would be getting $5,000 for something he got for $200. Insane.
What is this?
Well, I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like it could be like a really old and hopefully really expensive coin.
George III, sailed from England, 1772.
This guy came to the pawn shop with an ancient coin in his hand that he knows nothing about. He asks Rick to check it out.
Captain Cook's ships. Okay, you know who he was?
Was he the pirate from Peter Pan or something?
Wrong dude.
Okay.
Turns out that the coin is Captain Cook's medal, which was found by Jeff in his grandma's boxes.
Captain Cook worked his way in the annals of history to be one of the greatest ship captains ever. This is the guy who discovered Hawaii. He invented some really amazing mathematics that helped them navigate where they were going.
Rick talks a little about the history of the object that Jeff didn't know.
I'd be thrilled with 50 or $100.
Can you wait around so I can get someone to look at it? I'm really, really interested.
Jeff is ready to sell the item for $100, but Rick has some other thoughts.
This is a Resolution and Adventure medal. This journey lasted 3 years, from 1772 to 1775. He went down past the bottom of the African continent. He circumnavigated the southern portion of South America. He went to Fiji, he went everywhere.
After carefully examining the object, it was found out that the item did have some history related to it.
They made 2,000 of these, but all of these went to Captain Cook, every single one of them, and he carried them on his journey.
Wow.
He was to give them out to local chiefs as tokens of esteem.
It was also clear that such coins were owned by Captain Cook himself.
This one's actually in pretty good condition. To me, it's about a $7,500 to $8,500 item.
Upon asking, the expert calls it a $7,500 to $8,500 item.
I feel like I should ask for what it's worth. So 7,500?
I'm gonna give you $5,000 for it.
After knowing so much about the item, Jeff has now revived his price and asked for $7,500.
You just owe it to me because I just made you all this money.
Well, I guess
Think about it, think about it. If you walked in any other place on the planet, they would have gave you your 50 bucks and they would have left. So I think $5,000 is a deal.
Fair enough.
Okay,
Thank you.
However, Rick has some other thoughts and tells Jeff he would have walked away with $100 if he hadn't called the expert. Rick then closes the deal at $5,000. These deals made the Pawn Stars good money, but that's not always the case. Click now to watch times The Pawn Stars Got Scammed.